You're listening to The Human Upgrade with Dave Asprey.
Today's guest is the only guest on the show who has made every one of my female staff members and some of my male staff members like do a self-conscious hair flip when they heard that he was going to be on the show. And he's been on the show several times before. His name is Andy Hnilo. He's the founder of Alitura Skincare. Because I promised I was going to tell you guys exactly what you're going to get out of an episode, we're going to talk about actually taking care of your skin, and especially focusing on acne, what to do when you have young skin, and just at different phases in your life to have skin that looks amazing. Now, Andy here is uniquely qualified. He was a cover model for Oakley. Cover model is the right word, right, Andy?
Yeah, global campaign for Oakley. Yeah,
global campaign. Was there like a centerfold in that?
Well, I was just on the e-com homepage for a little bit in store. It's big in Brazil. It's like a Nike in Brazil. So but anyway, that really...
He's famous in Brazil, guys.
No, I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't say that. But yeah, I mean, it really, actually, booking that opened up a lot of opportunity to leave bartending after my accident and then focus in and lock in on the Alitura clay mask up in Malibu. So thanks for having me, man. It's good to be here. It's good to see you.
And guys, I'm an advisor since the founding of Alitura and a shareholder, and I'll just want to disclose that. So I've been working with Andy on helping his business grow and succeed. Although he does all the work, I just provide some good advice on occasion. And when you talk about your accident, a lot of listeners probably don't know this, but before you were with Oakley, right, you got in an accident that broke your jaw, basically kind of pulled off half of your face, and that's kind of bad when you're a model, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, just to touch a little bit on that accident, March 20th, 2011, I was crossing the street, just left dinner. I got hit by a westbound heading vehicle, lost consciousness, luckily, hitting the eastbound lane and then run over by a Tundra. Both cars pulled over. First responders were cutting my clothes off me in the middle of Melrose. I'm grateful now. I mean, a lot of the audience knows that story, but it led to so much purpose and I was 30 years old at that time, and you have friends that have families and kids, and they're starting their lives, and I'm like an up-and-coming actor putting cash from bartending in a little freezer bin to. It's just where I kept my cash to pay my rent for I was month to month, barely at that time. So, like I said, opening up that opportunity to quit bartending and focus in on Alitura and the product that I ended up creating. And I want to make one point here. I would not be here if without you.
Oh, thanks, man.
Bulletproof. I want to make that crystal clear. You gave me an opportunity that I will never forget. And my whole family, I just cannot tell you how much joy you brought to me, myself, my family,
thanks,
just having purpose. And then it's just it's like a total full circle effect. Like, I'm talking to people. I mean, I've shipped a clay mask to the Congo.
Nice.
Via helicopter. I mean, come on, Socrates Mojo, I think his name was. If you're out there, you're awesome. I'm doing things now, and I just have to. Thank you's not enough, but I mean, I'm extremely grateful, Dave, for the opportunity that you gave me to live my dream.
It was cool, man. You when you first came on the show, this was like, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, however long it was. You weren't that far out of your accident, but you recovered fully in about 6 weeks. You started doing the bulletproof diet. You did all this stuff. You did all this research to see what you could do to make yourself heal, and you healed so fast that you could actually work again as a model about 6 weeks after this accident. And you have photos on the website that are like pretty amazing. But you weren't selling. You weren't even thinking about selling what you made. You came on the show and you talked about how you made this mask with all these ingredients just to heal. And then people started saying, where can I get it? So I'm like, I'm gonna hook you guys up with Andy. And I'm like, you should start a business, man. And you did. And it's so funny, like some of the stories, the kiddie pool in the back of your house, like pouring all the ingredients, stirring them with a big paddle and making it. And now you've got full on, a whole line of stuff I've used every day for like 7 years, the gold serum. I write about it in my books. And you've learned a ton about skincare. And I just want to say straight up, okay, you're a model, you got to take care of your skin and all that. When I grew up, you probably have to be gay to take care of your skin if you're a dude. You use the same soap they use to wash your butt to wash your face. and like the soap forgets between those two things, so it's okay, right? And like, so guys are known for not taking care of our skin, and I realized, maybe I could do at least one thing, and so that's the gold serum. And I play around with other stuff now, and you can see a difference, right? And sometimes I'll use the mask, and sometimes I'll use this new Meteorite scrub. I have the secret version of that that's not out yet, but I want you to teach people some stuff. So there's like men's skin and women's skin. Like, what's the difference?
I mean, I never thought that I would be so into skincare, and it started well before the accident. I mean, when I was 18, 19, I was growing into my body, 168 pounds, freshman year, UC Berkeley. I had a baseball scholarship there, so I was playing, obviously, I was redshirted my freshman year, so I wanted to put on weight. And in that process of putting on 23 pounds, I was eating dorm food, creatine, getting all the supplements, just trying in an effort to, put on weight, build muscle, and compete with Pac-10 athletes. And in that process, I developed, dorm food, grains, sugar, terrible. A very bad case of back acne. And then I had cystic acne, which my skin was kind of clear, but cystic, it never comes to a point in infection where you can get rid of it.
It's like a subterranean pimple that just hurts.
It turns red. Yeah, it's sore and it stands out, and then you pick at it, it becomes even bigger. And so I had that going for me every now and then. It's because of the product. I did a little deductive reasoning on that and just kind of went, well, what am I eating here? And just ingredients were one thing. I went from pizza, hamburgers. I mean, seriously, I just thought it was protein, calories, and fat to put on weight at that time. Yeah. And so then, going back from proteins, I went from that. That's reading labels right there. So I was reading labels, and freshman year, 18, 19 years old, and so that you go down to ingredients, right? Protein, fat, calories, and then, well, what's in this? You start to see, partially hydrogenated oils. I mean, terrible stuff that you couldn't pay me to touch.
What was causing the acne?
I feel like just a disruption of my hormones, number one, growing into my body, and then also just, I feel like it was the products that I was using, and then also what I was ingesting, what I was putting into and onto my body. I feel like, this is all theory, because it changed quickly after. Once I started correcting that, once I went from Noxzema, Clearasil, seriously, that's what I was using, into Dove soap. Dove soap only had 5 ingredients. A lot of them were coconut-derived surfactants. And so I used that from, not head to toe. I think I was still using Pert Plus or something like that. Yeah, just the heavily marketed shampoo and conditioner all in one. And smells great, but I mean, God, that close to your brain, that close to that just porous scalp going into I feel like that can potentially, a lot of this is theory, but I think it makes sense. It could potentially mitigate and kind of like stunt the growth, and then ultimately, I think just, destroy the cell of the bulb of the follicle long term. I'm starting to get into hair care as well and really focusing on that, but that's another story. But I mean, I was just like really focused in on what I was putting into and onto my body. And once I start step by step, I started to see results. I remember I put on a little Dove night cream. The reason why I remember that is because they had CoQ10, and I put that in my night cream too. It's very good, at the mitochondria level. But
that's in Gold Serum, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in the Gold Serum and our night cream. But I remember 19 years old and just putting on a little night cream there and just
Did your friends make fun of you?
Absolutely. I got so much flack for that, and I was obviously 19, 20 years old. You take everything that everybody says to you, and
you believe it.
Yeah, you believe it. You're so self-conscious and insecure. But it just made sense. I'm like, I'm in the outfield. Like I'm already seeing crow's feet and things like that. Sun beating in on me. The whole idea, it's health, wellness. It's not only skincare. It's total body optimization pretty much. But year over year, it just got better. I mean, I went from that Dove soap, and then completely correcting my skin, and then completely correcting my back too. Like that was 100% only products, and also diet too, and then probably hormonal had something to do with it as well. But once I cleaned it up, it just all went away.
I think there's 2 causes for teenagers and just young adults getting that deep acne. The first one is clearly there's hormonal swings, and that's for men and women. But the biggest contributor is omega-6 fats, especially oxidized ones. So you and I are eating trans fats, and they've allegedly pulled these out of processed foods, but they haven't. As long as it's less than 1 gram, they can say there's none, even though it's still in there. So if you're eating canola, corn, soybean, those kinds of vegetable oils and healthy vegetable oils, there's no such thing, to be perfectly honest. Those are a major cause of inflammation, which is the cystic acne. That's inflammation of the layer under your skin. And the second thing would be eating large amounts of sugar, because sugar disrupts the gut microbiome, which is a major part of this. So if you're listening to this going, I have acne, like quit eating the shitty oils and cut back on the sugar, even if you don't eliminate it. And you might find that the acne goes down a lot. And if it doesn't, the third like asterisk is that if you're living in a place with a lot of toxins, to this day I'll get subcutaneous kind of cystic acne if I'm around toxic mold in my environment, because it creates systemic inflammation, and it's just inflammation of a very deep layer of the skin. So that said, and if you're putting crap on your skin, that can cause it, but I don't think it's an externally generated thing. I think it's internally generated from bad gut bacteria and inflammatory stuff in the body. And I don't think it matters for men or women. But for women, there's certain times of the month when you get a big hormonal swing. I don't know what to do about that. I would just say going on the pill is probably not the way to solve that, because it causes so many so much long-term damage to women. So probably eating right to regulate your cycle is a better move.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the topical stuff that, let's say our prototypical patient here is, let's start with an 18-year-old guy who's like, I don't want to have old skin, and I don't want to have, at some point, I don't want to have acne now. How many things on their bathroom counter? Okay, this is a dude.
Cleanse, moisturize, exfoliate, repair, right?
That's like 4 things.
Yeah, I know, but it's only 4. And okay, but it's 4 steps, right? So
every day?
Cleanse in the morning. But over time you're going to get excited. I want to make taking care of yourself cool. You know what I mean? Like, I think if you got that into like the early teenage years and be like, self-care, making self-care.
So all right, Andy, I've seen you go into a bar and you just like look at a woman and you're like, come over here. Yeah. And she just like, it's like they're hypnitized. And this is your skincare. It's your skincare routine that does it, or is it your checkered pants? Which one is it?
No, the sweet checkered pants. 1 of 1, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. Sure, they are. But
basically, you're going to look different if you do this, and it's very noticeable. Is what I'm saying.
I mean, you look good, you feel good. You're going to create better energy and create a ripple effect to everybody you meet, personally and professionally. I believe. What I like to do is what I would recommend for that 18, 19-year-old teenager. If you feel comfortable, I really started when I was 19 on the Aztec healing clay, like at a little 8-ounce jar. I think my sister got it. I don't know if I got it. I wish I could say that I got it, but it was in the cupboard and I put it on and I was blown away at the pulling action.
So you were like stealing your sister's makeup and stuff?
But she didn't even live there at the time. Maybe she bought it during a holiday. Like, I don't know how that happened, but it was there and I just fell in love with that Aztec healing clay. And then one by one over the years, I ditched, it was so cheap to begin with, but I wanted to find another source. And in looking for that other source of bentonite, I found Russell, kaolin, pyrophyllite, iolite.
All the stuff that you use in the mask, and I've got pictures of me online, using the Alitura mask, and it kind of smells like seaweed. You just put it on, and your skin really does noticeably look different.
It has such good pulling around that T-zone area where you have so much congestion, puffiness after a long night or maybe bad sleep or whatever, which we had the fire alarm go off at 4 a.m. And then if someone, I don't know if they played a joke on me, the alarm clock went off at 6. So we had 4, 6, and I'm doing, but I feel good. You brought it out of me today. I'm feeling just fine. But sometimes sleep can affect the way you wake up. The mask completely brings an influx of microcirculation to the surface of the skin, which, especially if you want to do a derma roller before to optimize, to really let the ingredients sink in further. I don't know if
What did you do this morning in order to make your face look all good for this interview?
Seriously?
Walk me through the Andy Hnilo custom thing.
We have it on tape. So what I did, I rolled with the derma roller, put in like 3 drops of gold serum, a little methylene blue, a little NAD, mixed it up, applied, rolled again, mixed up the clay mask, a little blood orange oil, pink grapefruit, clary sage, geranium, forget the other one, lemongrass. And applied that in an upwards motion, let that dry, kind of danced a little bit in the room. But
you danced a little bit? Is that part of your skincare routine?
It's part of the routine.
Twerking? Is that?
Twerking? I mean, I don't have enough back there to really make a noticeable twerk.
So no junk
I
in
got to
the
do some
trunk?
squats.
Yeah, there you go. I was noticing you were a little deficient in the squat department.
Oh, no, it's so true.
I was judging you there.
Man, being a baseball player, that's just not the reputation that you want to have. The guy, the long back guy.
It's funny. Our assistant filming today is Jack here, who's about to go off to school to play baseball. So.
Oh, no way.
Now you're discouraging him from doing squats. You're contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
That's just because my form was bad. I got to work on that. I need a trainer. Definitely do squats. Shortstop? Or pitcher. Pitcher, okay. Righty? Right. Nice. That's awesome, man. It's not easy to make it to the next level. Best of luck.
So we talked about basically Jack, what should he do for his skin? And you're like, 4 steps. Tell me those again, because I don't remember them, because that's too many steps.
Cleanse.
Cleanse, okay, so what do you cleanse with?
Well, I use a pearl cleanser. A gentle cleanser at that age is...
So let's talk about, you can feel free to talk about the Alitura stuff. So guys, remember, I'm an owner of the company, right? And I'm supporting Andy on his journey. So it's cool if you support him, but talk to me also about ingredients. So if people are like, look, I don't want to do Alitura. I want to just know, I want the knowledge. Mm-hmm. You got to teach us, but it's fine to say, here's why you do what you do in the product.
Absolutely.
Okay, so cleanser with pearl, but tell me about pearl, tell me about cleanser, and what should you avoid?
Yeah, so the good thing about the pearl cleanser is it's very gentle. It has a high concentration of pearl powder, which, you can put in your hands and just add a little water, put on your face, and it just mitigates the irritation. You stay just pearl and water. Okay. So it's very calming to the skin. And then we have colloidal silver in there to eat up bacteria.
Nice.
A little tremella mushroom as well as marshmallow root and a giant kelp extract to really calm the skin as well. We have an olive-based surfactant, which we're not using any harsh foaming agents, any synthetic.
So foaming is bad in general. Why is foaming bad?
Sodium lauryl sulfate is usually the culprit of a foaming agent. It's a government-recognized carcinogen. So they have it's one of the most, fragrance, the different dyes used in colors, sodium benzoate, phenoxyethanol, potassium sorbate. I just like to stay away from the harsh toxins or any synthetic ingredients that I can and make it as close to nature as possible. But those foaming agents, I think, it just always has irritated my skin. That combined with fragrance and preservatives and unorganic glycerin and just the myriad of alcohols and different preservatives combined, they just kill the formula. Butylene glycol, propylene glycol. It's just, it's loaded.
So non-foaming is a real important thing to do. If you're getting super foamy stuff on your face, you're getting stuff that disrupts the cell membranes in your cells.
It's not that common to find a natural foaming. I'm working on a foaming cleanser right now, and we can get it.
Oh,
so
cool.
I wouldn't say it's a foaming thing.
It's usually, if it's foamy, it's from chemicals, but a chemical
usually it's
foam.
from sodium lauryl sulfate.
Okay.
And which is a government-recognized carcinogen.
And then fragrance and colors, you just don't want to put that stuff on your body. It absorbs into your blood through your skin, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's a study that on average, women leave the house with over 200 government-recognized carcinogens every day. Can you believe, between hairspray, lipstick, makeup, deodorant, it makes sense. You're doing the math, but seriously, that does make sense. Every day, and then who knows what type of shampoo they're wearing, that needs to be known. That's ridiculous. It definitely, shortens longevity.
It's almost like the government shouldn't be responsible for your health, because they're not responsible for your health, because they brought you the food pyramid. And even all the stuff that we spray on crops, they only test it for safety on honeybees. They do zero testing for anything that lives in soil. So we're sterilizing the planet because of these clowns who should not be making the decisions they're making, including about what you put on your body. So you have to make those decisions. That's why I want to have you on just to talk about that. Is it true that I shouldn't do a glyphosate facial directly?
No, that's infuriating. No, definitely. Glyphosate is the biggest culprit. Especially, bee products specifically. That's the
bee
base.
Products, right? Yeah.
Propolis, pollen, beeswax, obviously honey, royal jelly. It is so molecularly complex. And the beautiful base. We have our manufacturer is a small family-owned business in Haleiwa, Hawaii, that creates holistically raised hive products that an emulsion that is so healing and just so rich in enzymes that I'm just lucky I found them and very grateful that I found them. And then combining that, like the best from nature and like cutting edge organic botanicals with skin science and clean skin science ingredients that, I mean, I'm actually having like people reach out because Alitura is getting that reputation, which I love, but I want to get that increase in just knowledge of what we're putting into and onto our body is not what they think it is. I just saw, I don't want to say the name, but I mean, it's gone down even to this popular scrub that I grew up using, and they have this little badge top right, made with 100% natural, in small little letters, exfoliants.
What does that even mean? Natural? Like, isn't oil natural because it comes out of the ground?
Yeah, natural. I mean, I don't even like, exactly. I don't like using the word natural. I want to use the word beyond organic. You can get better performing ingredients. It's more expensive, takes time to create, but it's just you're finding out and navigating different manufacturers in the industry that aren't used to the detail and the non-negotiable ingredient decks that I approach them with. And then they come with revisions, and I go, okay, let me just see that ingredient deck, and then they come back with I mean, now it's another revision. I mean, it's all staying on top of just non-negotiable, just mission as a part of our mission with ingredients and how we formulate our products.
It takes a little bit of obsessive compulsiveness around that. Like back when I was involved with Bulletproof and the stuff that they made, I would go to the natural flavor things. And natural flavors are not good or bad. You just don't know where they're from. And some of them are, beaver anus and petroleum and like gross. So I would actually torture them and be like, okay, you got to tell me, where did this come from? And was the feedstock GMO or non-GMO? They're like, that's proprietary. I'm like, then I'm not buying it. And eventually they'd say, okay, fine, that was made from something fermented from genetically modified corn. I'm like, I don't want it. Like, I don't want to contribute to degradation of the soil, so I'm not going to do it. And I don't know what standards, because I'm not at all involved with Bulletproof. I have no idea what they're doing right now. But it's that level of care that you also have for Alitura, where you're saying, like, every little thing matters. And when people decide to support a small company like yours, or like my new Danger Coffee or anything like that, you're supporting that attention to detail so that you don't have to go out and do all the research yourself and figure out every little thing and then try and make it. Because that's what you did with the original scrub, right? You're like, I can't buy this, I got to go make it. And everything I do is like, I can't buy it, I guess I'll make it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But one thing that drives me crazy as a advisor, Myra and glass. These are like the most expensive glass containers.
I know.
They block light perfectly, and like they're the highest end. So why do you package all of your stuff in, like, really, it has, a few dollars in the cost of the bottle?
Oh, it does. And man, thank you for bringing that up. I want my customers and following and people listening to understand that nobody uses that. Not many people use that glass because of cost. It blocks out all artificial light and only lets in the good UV light, effectively like brightening and enlivening the bioactivity of the ingredients and keeping them as just, it's hard to explain. They have different studies between tomato paste and like a glass and that, the Miron glass bottle, and it just, what it does, it enhances the life and the bioavailability of the products. I mean, it's just, it's their whole motto is preserved by the bottle, not by toxins. Mm-hmm. And so we use that. We're not even using a preservative in our moisturizer, Meteoric, and our gold serum. Because these are pumped body lotion. I mean, these are raw, real, live ingredients that were on hives. I mean, it's a bee product base, but I mean, some of the active ingredients obviously not on a hive. But I mean, it is clean and is it's like making an album. That's the best way I can describe it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of revisions that got left on the cutting floor. That I mean, with the presents our first fragrance. Working on another one, women, Champaka based, but only female focused. But that product right there, I signed off on it 3 times total. I signed off on it twice and went, no, I'm sorry, Sue. It's a little too baby powdery or a little too, floral or sweet. But that's how, you have to be obsessed. Of course, that's what drew me to you and Bulletproof. When John Baker brought it up, just like the level of obsession that you have to in detail, and also knowledge
Gotta know
of being able to ask those questions. Is it proprietary? Then we all know what that means, you know? And it's just getting on the same page with your manufacturers, which is very impressive that you're able to do that, and I learned that from you, for sure. Sometimes you have to go there in person, you know, lab coats. I'm in American Apparel, Henley. I'm going, that's not the pearl powder. Going over there, they think I'm tasting the pearl powder. That's not Jing Herbs. You know, it's Alibaba for a fraction of the cost. I mean, so you really, unless you're there in the manufacturers while they're, office or room or plant while they're doing it, man, that's the thing that really keeps me on edge, is because I hope, it's all in writing, they signed that contract, but I hope they're doing the right thing with my ingredients. And so far they are, but you really have to have that personal relationship with my 6 different manufacturers for all my different products, which is a lot, but because you can't be great at everything.
Now, you keep sending me these prototypes of meteorite scrub. Now, meteorites sound kind of expensive. Why would you put a meteorite in a scrub?
It's cosmic.
Cosmic?
Oh, yeah.
Is this like
There's a little
clinically
carbon in it,
studied
too.
cosmic?
No, I mean,
what do
me.
they do? Like, why is it different
I'm
than
just a
sand or
very
something?
spiritual, out there guy. Nobody does that. It's a mild exfoliant. 15K for a half kilo or whatever it was. I mean, I didn't do it for the cost, but it's just, I want people to have a connection to the product, because I definitely do. You know,
So instead of those plastic microbeads, which are totally clogging up oceans, getting your cell membranes and all, like any exfoliation thing with micro whatever, those are kind of ruining the planet right now. So meteorites probably aren't ruining the planet unless they're really big and moving really fast, at which point we have an issue.
Yeah, no, it's so with the meteor, so proud of this product, by the way. I mean, when I was in New York, 2018, on like a little press tour, I was at Cosmopolitan. Or wait, no, Vogue. And Vintner's daughter had an article written up on her as the best skincare product ever made for her serum. I met her, Angela. It's legit. I want to have something like, when I saw that, I don't know if they paid for it or whatever, but I really believe this will be talked about. That's why I wanted to have something special. I mean, they're out. My supplier is, I mean, they ran out. Somebody got the last. So like, you want to talk limited edition? I mean, I'm sure. I'm actually going to go to the Tucson Gem Show next year and get a meteorite, pulverize it, microfilter.
You're going to use subpar meteorites? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, something better.
I mean, on meteorite dust, Andy.
No, it's going to be difficult to find on the next round, but I did it because just to be different, and it's part of several different.
It also makes like a certain fragment size that works differently than sand or something, right?
Yeah, but they polish the particles, so they're rounded. They're not like, that's another thing though, like with walnut holes, so they have little angles, and actually that's how a company got in trouble recently. So we want to make them rounded, nice, smooth, gentle exfoliants, which it's like a tri-level exfoliant system. So we have lava rock, pulverized lava rock, California poppy seed, a little meteorite scrub, fulvic acid, hyaluronic acid, mandelic acid, and lactic acid.
What's mandelic acid?
Mandelic acid is a very potent enzyme. I mean, it just really helps just resurface the skin. I would say hyaluronic is in there mostly for hydration, but this is for long-term, like letting your skin thicken itself naturally at a cellular level rather than harshly using, people when they scrub, I want it to be a combination of like good deep redness with like the niacinamide, but also like 1 to 3 times a week tops, but you want to take a couple days off in between. But letting the acids, once that tri-level, like small, medium, large exfoliant system exfoliates the dead skin cells, I want the acids kind of come through and then like invigorate at a cellular level. It's all, I mean, I know what it does, and I know what it's been explained to me with my chemist, and it's hard to explain what it does beyond that. No, I mean, as far as like invigorating at a cellular level once exfoliated. I'm trying to break it down. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
But the combination of the acids along with the bamboo stem cell extract, pearl powder. I mean, we have Montana U-tip powder and Montana U-tip oil from Bozeman, from a small family that I met out at the Natural Products West Expo. I mean, so just seeking and sourcing ingredients that people haven't used or heard of before, for reasons not just woo-woo with the meteorites. I mean, it has been used before. I wish I was, the first, but it's a mild exfoliant, which brings a cosmic aspect, which is me. I mean, I'm just very spiritual, I'm fascinated by what's out there.
I actually think it's okay to say, that your intention is in a product. And so we have this this kind of spiritual aspect to it. So you're like, I like the energy of meteors. And
yes.
There's actually nothing unscientific about that. I like it. I want it to be in there. And I put my intent, the new Danger Coffee, I want you to feel dangerously good. And like, there's something you do. And all the best branding people and product creation people, there's something that a founder does when they really give a shit. Right? And I can't tell you what it is, but I know that I'm doing it, and I know that you're doing it too. And I think it just shows in how people feel when they use it. It's like the experience in total. So I'm down with the spiritual aspect of that. Some people listening may say that's all bullshit, and that's okay. Try it. It still works, whether you think it's all bullshit or not. So there you go.
It's not. I thank you. That makes so much sense. And yeah, you explained it a lot better than I could. It's a feel thing. I mean, this project, all of these are one by one. They take years. This one, like I said, 5. Once we finally wrap it up, and I see the tube, and we're just designing the tube, but it'll be out by the time this is released. Very excited for that. And then it's on to the next one, putting a bow on deodorant. We have a full hair care line coming out, sunscreen, but it's going to be, and then a Alitura blue product.
So we got cleanse.
Cleanse, exfoliate, moisturize, and repair.
Cleanse, exfoliate, then you moisturize, okay. Mm-hmm. And is the gold serum actually moisturizing, or should I be using?
Absolutely.
I have the night cream. I use that sometimes, but is it, like, what do you put on to moisturize during the day, or is that the gold serum?
The gold serum or the moisturizer. Some people stack. I'll go 2 and 2 and kind of rub it in my hands and then apply.
I just like shave and take the gold serum, but I put a drop of method.
Throw it in the hair too. I'm telling you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's not gonna get kind of oily?
No, it's seriously, it's light enough.
I'll
do it right now.
I'm gonna have to take the methylene blue out, otherwise I'm gonna look kind of blue-haired.
I did that this morning too. It's crazy. I mean, I'm a weirdo, man. But I mean, yeah, with the gold serum, we made that after, and I learned more. I mean, that was a couple years after the moisturizer. The moisturizer is an amazing product. That, right? I mean, a lot of people prefer that over the gold serum. But the gold serum has concentrated active ingredients.
That stuff is really good.
Thank you. I mean, I feel like that's the best serum on the planet. I want somebody else. I mean, we won best serum 2018, best runner-up, second place 2019, and then we just got what was it? We won Think Dirt, for the night cream as well in 2021. So I mean,
they're super high-end products, okay?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
They last a long time too. I don't know how long a bottle's supposed to last, but it lasts me a while.
I mean, we have that's 18 months. Once open for the gold serum, night cream, a little bit shorter shelf life.
But it's like in terms of usage, if you use it every day, it's going to last for like a couple months, right?
At least a month,
okay.
Yeah.
So you spend like $1 a day on your facial care kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, what it does has like a mild brightening effect to it, which is just accidental with the CoQ10, has a little orange tint, and jojoba. It just provides like this little glow and glint, almost like a tinted moisturizer, but not meant to be that way. It just happened that way with.
All right, we've got you cleanse, you exfoliate, you moisturize, and what are the really bad things people should avoid in a moisturizer?
Glycerin.
Why is glycerin bad?
It's an emulsifier. It's just there to provide a feeling of moisturization, but it
doesn't do anything.
Yeah, no. It's a filler. It's always often a part of the first 5 ingredients. I mean, it's just, you want to make something.
It's not functional, you're saying, so that you're buying a bottle that's half glycerin and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, water, glycerin, alcohol. I mean, I remember going to a manufacturer and having a guy go, that's like baking a cake, right? You got your water, glycerin, alcohol. You have your choice of exfoliant, it's all marketing, right? I'm like, no, I disagree with all. It's not like baking a cake. You find a way to get that emulsion, get a base point, benchmark of an emulsion that you want, give that to a reputable chemist, and then the creative fun part, just designing that with, just beautiful ingredients, coconut butter, beeswax, aloe vera, ylang-ylang, sea buckthorn, kupuaku, acai butter, indiroba, buriti, prakashi. I mean, you can keep I mean, things that people haven't even heard of that have government recognized studies on PubMed for scar reversal. I mean, they're out there, but I mean, big companies are probably doing the best to mitigate that information.
Is alcohol bad for your skin?
It depends. Ingesting, I feel like, consuming a lot of alcohol will dry
drinking
out.
alcohol always mess up your skin, right?
But as far as, it's a tough one. I mean, if you're not using organic gluten-free alcohol in your formulas, I would prefer you use organic witch hazel.
That usually has alcohol in it anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, but it's small. I mean, it's
small amounts.
A little bit more.
I don't think ethanol alcohol is particularly bad for your skin. Rubbing alcohol is pretty bad, but that's isopropyl. So a little bit of alcohol when necessary to drive ingredients in, or I don't know that it's bad. A little bit. Like I've seen it in lots of healthy products, like witch hazel. Like it's got some alcohol in it, but I wouldn't want to be putting any isopropyl unless it was like a wound or something.
Right.
And for a little bit of ethanol when necessary, I don't know that I have a deal with it, but I wouldn't want to like soak my face in ethanol either.
That's interesting. We're making a toner.
Yeah.
And it does have organic alcohol and witch hazel. And so, but that's before the whole point. That's it. I'd never thought of it that way though, as far as driving in the ingredients and opening up maybe pathways for more absorption of that ingredient afterward, or of the product.
It also sterilizes your skin. So like after you shave, I've even played, and you should play around with this, with putting caffeine in. Like topical caffeine does great stuff for your skin. So by the way, see, there's my caffeine molecule.
Nice.
And this actually leads me to totally different directions. Yeah, topical caffeine is great. Do you actually put Alitura on your biceps, or like do you exfoliate your biceps?
I mean, on my body. Oh God, here we go.
What are you at? 7% body fat now?
I mean, I haven't got it measured.
By the way, guys, for body fat, Andy's probably too low for longevity. And for your biology, it may work very well, but generally speaking, under 9-10% tends to be harder to maintain, and it maybe is biologically stressful, but you've always been pretty lean, so I think that's just your genetics.
Yeah, I've been very lean, but like that does make sense. I want to put on a little bit more, like just fat. I mean, saturated fat is what your brain's made of. I mean, just really, but I consume a ton of fats. I just.
It's probably you need some more carbs. You've been pretty low carb for a long time, so just every now and then have a marshmallow, you'll be fine.
Or sweet potato, beets.
Probably sweet potato.
Brussels sprouts, cauliflower.
Yeah. Brussels sprouts, cauliflower aren't going to do it, but you might actually need a little bit more starch in the evenings. That'll help you put on a little bit more.
Okay.
Probably raise testosterone too. Do you use testosterone?
No, I don't.
No, okay.
No.
Peptides, SARM?
Peptides, yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Which peptides do you like?
Copper peptide, NAD, thymosin alpha 1, thymosin beta 4, BPC 157.
Okay, cool. So you inject them and okay, good deal. Yep, I have used all of those as well. So you're taking good care of yourself and all that stuff because you've got like the pro athlete and like you have to be, looking good because of the model background. Just
no.
You have a skincare company. If you walk around looking all janky, people are going to say your stuff doesn't work, right?
Well, yeah, and also it just feels good. I mean, ever since just recovering from the accident, I mean, I would work out, but I became obsessed because that was part of, just getting back to where I was before, and I got back pretty quickly. So I just wanted to maintain that. Attention to what I put into my body, and it's accelerated over time. But I mean, but it's never been as to the point where it is right now. But the accident was a catalyst to that for sure. Just taking care of myself and from a supplement level, and then also it just leaned into peptides. Man, that is probably the biggest game changer I would say is a NAD.
I've been doing NAD IVs and talking about them on the show since I think the first NAD IVs have been around. So
really?
First it was like drug and alcohol addiction, but I've done probably 25 IVs and I take all the precursors and I'm a fan. So NAD is great.
What are some of your favorites? Like
that's a pretty good list. I also like Epitalon for aging.
Oh yes, I do that.
You do
once
that?
A year.
Okay, yeah.
10 days in a row.
Probably every 6 months would be good, or lower dose more frequently works.
Really?
For telomere extension. There's MSH or melanotan 2. That stuff's amazing because it lets you get like a tan in 20 minutes. Like you inject it, you go out in the sun for 20 minutes for 3 days, and you've got like a dark tan. And lower doses of that can be anti-aging, but if you're already pretty dark, you probably don't want to use it because you get a lot darker. But if you don't want to put on a lot of sunscreen, having a tan is naturally protective, so it's good to do that. And you probably still want some sunscreen like on your face and whatever. And you take really good care of yourself, and that's part of why I want to teach people what's going on with skincare and all. And we talked about kind of those 4 steps. Do they change if you're like 30 or 40, or if you're a man versus a woman, or is this like the standard thing that works for everybody?
I feel like it's a standard thing that works. I mean, create that, that circulation through, creating circulation to the surface of the skin. I mean, brightens, gets stagnant capillaries moving around your face. Like, I'm trying to do my best to break this down at a scientific level. And then say exfoliating dead skin cells, revealing the fresh skin cells underneath, right? And then hydrating that area that you just exfoliated after, say, and then cleansing that every day. I mean, that's the process, cleansing that with really rich ingredients, hydrating and healing that area that you just exfoliated after bringing blood flow and circulation to the surface of the skin. I mean, I just know that's the recipe.
Okay.
Doesn't that just sound that's what I do. That's what the whole recipe is, but like, that's how it works. I mean, I believe universally for men and women. It works
for everyone, and so those make a lot of sense. I don't really like carrying a lot of crap with me when I travel, right? So
4 things, maybe even 3 if you want to just,
So I always have the gold serum. I mean, I haven't traveled without that in years, right? Cleansers, sometimes I bring a cleanser, right? I like the Pro Cleanser, and sometimes I'm like, I just have this like bar of soap, but it's not like the cheap crappy soap. It's like, high-end soap made out of like coconuts and whatever. And if I just use a little bit of that on my face and then I put gold serum on, am I gonna die?
No, that's actually, it's fine. Hey, each routine, everyone's to each their own. I mean, I have friends, my friend Lamone Archie, actor, I asked him if you want to try some of my products. He's like, man, honestly, I just do Jergens baby lotion. He has the best skin I've ever seen.
Dude, and that's genetic, because that's not the best lotion.
You should see him. He'll be like 70 still looking like that. So, to each their own. I know people that just splash water on their face. Some people have that, genetic gift to be able to do that. I want to, who knows, maybe you or I would be like that. I want to optimize, I want to optimize what I can. Who knows, if they would, I'm trying to think of an example of someone I know that, but they, it's just, what if you added a gold serum? What if you encouraged, the life of a lot of the stagnant capillaries? What if you started using one? How good would your skin be down there? It's just, I know it's a process, but it's tough to talk to me about. It's like asking, I'm not comparing myself to Michael Jordan, but like, how do it's talking to him about like free throws or something like that. Like, skincare is, you saw it today, John. Like, it's a big part of my life, just naturally. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's a process. It's always around. I work from home, always have the red light on, so it's like that combined with the gold serum, always applying, and it feels good. Look good, feel good. You're going to create that ripple effect, personally and professionally, wherever you go.
We've got Alitura at Upgrade Labs here. Actually, we're recording this at the Beverly Hilton, which is my favorite hotel here in LA. We hold the biohacking conference here some of the time. And we've got Alitura products down there. People put them on before they use our red charger and our red bed and all that stuff. And yeah, it makes a difference. So why do you put collagen in the products themselves? Does that work?
So we use marine collagen, which is a red snapper form of collagen that it's liquid. However, if I were using, like, I actually tried it with your bulletproof collagen powder, for some reason it wasn't sinking in. The powdered particles, I feel like the liquid does cross the epidermis. This is it's an active ingredient that's in the gold serum that we're using.
Okay.
And in the Pearl Cleanser as well. But that's specifically in there for not only emulsion, but also for anti-aging skin benefits. So there's something there. Like, I don't know if it's the form of the liquid or the gelatinous. I think it's from like the cheeks right there, but they got it to a point where it does cross that epidermis.
Well, there's like whole collagen molecules, and then there's, if you break collagen down with enzymes, you can get these things called tripeptides, and copper tripeptide is one of them. But there's other tripeptides in it that probably do have a signaling effect on the skin, versus taking like whole collagen, like the stuff I used to make at Bulletproof. I'm not sure what's in it now, because I don't like I don't have access to the ingredient decks or anything. But if it's whole collagen, it's unlikely to be able to absorb. If it's topical, it probably could, as long as it's fully broken down. So that's cool. You found a source from Red Snapper, which is...
No, that's a good question though, because I did think about, because the collagen, it does dissolve pretty well into water depending on the source. And it is, but the particle size, they don't break down. It doesn't dissolve completely with the glaze. Like I was thinking about adding that in, and I still may, but I need to have a reason. I need it to be effective, and I don't want. I mean, we just basically talked about. It's got to be different. It's got to be probably like at a tripeptide level.
I think we have a massive problem with plastic microbeads.
Yeah.
But do you pay attention to that when you're sourcing stuff for Alitura?
Absolutely. I mean, we would have had the Meteorite scrub released probably 3 years ago if I wasn't non-negotiable about the sugarcane tube on my packaging. I mean, we were close 2020, and then my sales rep for the sugarcane tube got fired, and then they wouldn't keep me to the minimums. So I had to source that tube again, found it a year and a half later, and now we're going back down. But that's purely, I just want to let the audience know that, that's purely why that product hasn't been released. The formula's been done forever, which obviously is, I'm just chomping at the bit. I want to release that product, but I got to get my tube. I mean, you have one chance to release something that I've worked on this for too long. I don't care how long it takes. I want it to be perfect. I want it to be perfect on the first time. And so that's the only reason. The sugarcane tubes, more environmentally friendly than plastic. I don't understand why you wouldn't go glass on anything. In this case, with a scrub, I think I want to have a tube too. Just to make the lineup look a little diverse in pictures and things like that. And a tube's more conducive for facial scrubs and body scrubs.
You don't want to drop glass in the shower. That's kind of annoying.
No, but no, thanks for asking. I mean, that's it's so important to me. I mean, mirror on glass. It's
recyclable.
Anybody who uses mirror on glass, recyclable for sure. But I can't believe people would want to throw that away. Keep those bottles, use them. You know what I mean? I can't wait to get direct on the bottle metallic oil, like ceramic ink printed, like no labels, nothing. So that's another way to cut down on packaging. We use 95% post-recyclable box now, rather than just the bubble wrap. And
it's that attention to detail. Like you're absolutely obsessive about it. And I like to buy my stuff from obsessive people. And so part of the reason that you support small companies and all is you want someone who's just like, I care a lot about this one thing.
That's a really good point. Yeah. I mean, I come alive watching people describe their passions and whatever, I mean, see how their eyebrows, I mean, they like just the passion that they have talking about. I mean, you're absolutely right. I would definitely, it makes you want to pull the trigger even more. I mean, and you can tell if they're, being authentic and truthful about that. I mean, I mean, I look for people like yourself, and I mean, I know how I feel about that, and I just try to see if other people mirror that and just are passionate about what they're sharing with the world. But yeah, but anyway, just people passionately talking about what they love is obviously leads to, just thinking that they've spent a lot of time and research into what they're bringing to the market. And I know I have. I'm agreeing with you.
Nice. Now, you know the deal. You come on the show, you got to support listeners with the discount code.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's alitura.com, but what's the code?
Alitura.com, alitura.com, and the code Human Upgrade.
Human Upgrade, all right.
20% off.
Thanks,
the entire store. No, but really, I mean that. Like, the reason why I'm here and doing all that is because you gave me an opportunity, Dave. Seriously, I want to thank you.
You're welcome, Andy.
From the bottom of my heart.
It's hard work to be an entrepreneur. You've learned a lot, and it's kind of funny. I still remember that conversation. You're like, man, it's taken me a long time to mix all of these because you're mixing one at a time, like with a chopstick. Because you weren't going to start a business. It was just people wanted the stuff that made your face better, and it was kind of cool just to see how listeners responded, and they were all real supportive as you were getting going. And you scaled it up, and now you're running a sizable business with multiple awards for the quality and effectiveness of the things you make. So you've earned it, and it's hard work being an entrepreneur. So nice work, Andy.
Thank you, Dave.
Alitura.com, code Human Upgrade, save 20%. and support guys like Andy who just make stuff that is obsessive, that means you don't have to do the thinking. And that's my job too. Like, I'm going to curate the world's best experts and all the stuff I'm interested in and introduce you guys. So now you know Andy if you didn't know him already.
Human upgrade, Dave Asprey.